G'day. Welcome to Show and Tell the podcast.
Hi.
Once again, thanks for if you're a first-time listener, thanking you. And if you're a regular, nice to be back in your earbuds, your earballs, your ear holes. Hey, I wear, talking of ears, I wear earbuds at night, like to block out noise. I wear eye mask and earbuds. And anyone who wears earbuds will know this. After a bit of time, you get little scabs in your ears and they're so painful.
What?
It's so painful. One of my best mates, Kerry, wears them all the time as well. And I'm like, oh, God, because you must rub your ear and take off a bit of skin sometimes with the little earbuds.
It's always fascinated me how she's done that though when she's got little kids.
Always done it.
Try to hear them breathing at every second.
Me too. And how noisy is it?
Oh, it's silent, but I need complete blackness. And blocked out. I need every sense just dulled within an inch of its life.
It's called high maintenance.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Even when the babies were born. That shit. Yeah, God, yeah. If I had them next to my bed, every single noise they would make, it would do my head in. It would keep me awake all night. Okay. Let's get into quick question. What do we got this week?
Oh, what do we got? Let me read it out.
We've just got random questions in a Ziploc bag we pull out.
What is your current state of mind?
Oh. Okay. Do you want to go first, Mel?
Pretty scattered, I reckon. I'm very scattered. Like a million things running through my head all at once, but I'm not sort of taking action on any of them. Like a bit overwhelmed. That's my usual. So that's
how you're feeling today.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Fun place to be.
Yeah.
Totally. Mine would probably be pretty good, but I have to talk myself back into being pretty good after I do prep drop off.
Oh, you're having a rough time though.
Oh yeah, it's not pretty. So I have to consciously sit in the car and breathe it out and not let it ruin my day.
Yeah.
Because it's hardcore.
Well, Jarv's not letting you go. He's just gripping on, isn't he?
Yep, hit for dear life. Secretary has to come out and peel him off. Tries to run away now.
Oh, God.
Oh, Stace.
The worst part is people watching.
Yeah.
And you're like, just do it silently. I'll hug you for as long as you need, but please don't make a scene. It's not my jam.
Everyone just feels really bad for you.
But I don't want to be asked. People, are you okay? I'm like, okay.
No, I'm not.
This is just prep. We're just doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just what it is. But it's a process to shake it off.
Oh, it goes against every instinct in your body to just leave your kid when they're crying like that. Especially at school, though, you've got no choice. Like childcare and stuff feels a little bit different sometimes.
Yes.
But when it's school, it's like, no, this is it. My preppy Arlo's the complete opposite. Stace and I were talking. She's like, I'm having a rough time. We got to the front gate the other day. So I've got my grade 3 holding one hand, Arlo in the other hand, my preppy. I'm going to have to walk back to school until he's finished high school, literally up to his front, into the classroom. He's like, can you come to my classroom with me all the time? Where Arlo is, we get to the front gate and he goes, drops my hand, he goes, I'll take it from here, Mum.
No.
And walks to class.
Fly free, little bird.
Isn't he
wow.
That's just the comment though. I'll take it from here.
I'll take it from here, Mum. I'll take it from here, Mum. And then his backpack's bigger than his whole body. It's so funny.
Oh, my God. If there's anything I can say, my daughter was the same.
Yeah.
Not so much crying and holding on to me, but it was very, very hard the first few months of school to get her to go and not be upset or have tantrums in the morning and all that stuff. It will pass, but it's really awful.
This kid's going to torture me.
Yeah, he has since birth.
Oh, yeah. He's got my number.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's tough. You just be a little bit on edge all day because tomorrow you got to do it again.
Yeah, but you got to let it go. I just force myself to let it go.
Yeah.
And he's fine.
I pick him up and he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine
so
once he's in there.
An hour of my day.
Yeah.
And I've got to just move on. Anyway, what's your current state of mind?
My current state of mind is a bit unsettled as well. I'm at the 3-month mark of mum passing and I have found it really difficult. And so I went to my GP and have gone on stronger medication. And I know that I'm grieving, but I also was at the point that I didn't want to get out of bed and I was weeping. And I know those triggers for me, like repetitive thoughts and stuff. There's certain things I know when I'm not in a good place.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, those thoughts are on repeat. It might even just be 2 words that'll go around on repeat in my head. And then, I get extremely weepy and just really, like I think of myself as, sounds like a wank, but quite a creative person. Like I churn out ideas all the time for radio and this site and stuff, and I couldn't think of anything. And that's another trigger for me. So I just went to him and I thought, I just think I need a bit of help at this time. But what I feel has happened is that I'm almost like it's definitely taken the edge off and I'm not crying as much, and I'm thinking about mum every second still. So I'm not avoiding grieving. I'm totally leaning into that. But it's almost like they're too high for me because it's numbed me where it's just a bit of a void in my head. I can't explain it.
Well, that's what people worry about by taking meds, right? That they
it'll
take away the highs.
It takes away the highs, but it takes away the lows. But at the moment, for me, taking away the highs is I'm okay with that because the lows were a bit too low for me.
Yes.
But
it's very responsible.
She's very good at it. She's very good at knowing the triggers and stuff. It's good.
But I just can't. It's also making me not be able to find words properly, and I just don't quite feel myself.
Right.
It's only very
temporary.
It's only
maybe.
very recent. Maybe there's like a sort of certain buffer of time that it takes for your body to catch up.
Yeah.
To a different dosage. But I think that's very responsible.
Well, I just don't want to. I get I'm grieving, and I'm definitely not avoiding it. I can't stress that enough. Where I'm not like drug me up so I don't feel what's going on. It's more I can't have run my family and be doing my jobs and live. Like I want to grieve my mum, and I actually never want to stop grieving her because it connects me to her. But like now I'm struggling to cry, like it numb. Last night there's things I remember, like now I actually will cry, which I almost want to invite it because they're not there very often.
Yeah.
But there's certain things I replay in my head about mum. I can. Oh, this feels nice.
We're right here.
Yeah, there's certain things I replay in my mum, like when she told us she had 3 months, and I just see her, and I see her looking at Sam, my partner, and saying, I love you, Sammy. Like she just made sure all of us knew, but I just picture her in that, when she told us, and then I went in the next night and I just watched a show, and I laid with her in the hospital bed, and I was going to say, even thinking of that, I'm not crying anymore, but I am. High five, guys.
Nailing it.
Fucking got me too.
Fucking hell.
I know.
Anyway. I know.
Anyway, you cried.
This is a warts and all podcast, isn't it? My God, you guys must be like, fuck these girls, go on a journey in 20 minutes.
There is nothing. There is nothing that can compare with losing someone you love. There's just nothing.
No, it's just bullshit.
But also, like, talking about this, people, like, all of us are talking about things that everybody's going through somewhere.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's helpful.
Yeah, it is.
At least we can tell ourselves that so it's just not complete rubbish.
Totally. Anyway, let's move on to something else. A couple of days ago, Justin Bieber did an interview with Zane Lowe. So Zane Lowe is like one of the biggest music interview people. I don't know what you even call that.
Interviewer, entertainment reporter.
Yeah, he's got his own shows in America. So he was on Beats, which is Apple Music's like radio station. Like he would be getting paid. I can't even tell you how much that guy would be getting paid. But all of them want to be interviewed by Zane Lowe. So he can get interviews with anyone.
Great job.
He's a New Zealand guy, and he's just...
Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's absolutely brilliant.
Isn't he?
So
is it he's relaxed?
He's
very relaxed.
He knows his stuff. He's relaxed. He's like lives and breathes music.
And people, though. He likes the story behind the people.
Yeah.
Like the way he does it is so clever.
Do you know who I'm imagining in my head? Like Louis Theroux. That sort of
that relaxed and
inquisitive, like
He did an interview with Justin Bieber. It is unbelievably uncomfortable to watch.
It is very,
Like I had to focus on Zayn during it because he's so relaxed. Bieber sits down and he's rocking his legs constantly, bobbing his head. Like he's so uncomfortable in his own skin. It's so transparent.
Yeah.
And he barely looks at Zayn the whole interview, literally looks at the ground. Hayley's off camera and he looks at her sometimes as well. But it was a fascinating interview. How's Bieber's voice in it though was unbelievably irritating.
I didn't notice that. I was just more caught up in, my God, you'd be hard to interview when you fiddle like that. He did it on Ellen DeGeneres' show too.
He's
It's so hard to just stay in the zone to interview him.
I think there's literally not, because looking people in the eyes can be a tricky thing to do. He clearly,
It's intimate. It feels intimate.
And he's clearly very uncomfortable giving himself to people. Like, he would have been burnt that many times that he's clearly a part of it is like he can't really look people in the eye.
I know, but you know what else about this? I've been watching his YouTube doco. It's like it's up to part 6 or 7 and they're 10 minutes long and it's all chapters of his life in building this album. And when he's looking at the camera, he's completely comfortable. You don't see any of this fidgeting, rocking, tapping, none of it. It's only when he's one-on-one with the person in front of him. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
It is. It's really interesting. But he's been famous since he was so young. So, of course, he's a fucking messed up unit. Anyway, there's a couple bits I wanted to play to you because he and Hayley were obviously together and then they broke up and he said to her, I can't give you what you need right now. Like he was still mourning Selena. Not mourning, but like getting over Selena. And he went on tour and he was pretty fucked up. And so Zayn asked him about his faith. He is super religious.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a tough question before we focus on the future and how bright things look? Do you think that if you hadn't redefined what Jesus was and reclaimed it into something that was worthy of practice for you, which then led you on a path of reconciliation with your wife, do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction? Do you feel that you were self-destructing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have for sure. 100%. Yeah. 100%. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. It would have been, yeah. I don't know if I'd be alive for sure.
Pretty full on.
He sounds like a little boy.
Yeah, but his voice was all crow. It got worse during it. Bothered me. But I'm just like, sometimes when I hear people talk about Jesus, I'm like, fuck, I wish I believed.
I know. I think for people who are really religious, there's such a comfort to it.
Yeah.
You know, like that feeling of there's someone almost like, I think people who are super religious, I'm assuming, there's a level of control that you can let go of because you feel like
it's taken care of.
It's God's plan. It's whatever. It would be nice. And that assurance that you would feel that I'm going to go on somewhere after this. There's no question.
My mind boggles with it because it's like for somebody to say to me, believe in Jesus. It feels the same as somebody to go, speak Chinese to me right now. It's like, it's just not in me. It's not there.
I don't have it either.
I just don't. So I'm like fascinated.
I grew up
with people believing in something. Don't get me wrong. I believe that there is something bigger than us. I truly do. And I hate it because it's such a wank, but I'm like, often I'll put it out to the universe.
But you
because
need
I don't
that.
know what that is. Yes.
You need to know that. Like that's a comfort thing that we tell ourselves is somewhere else we're going, just like religion's a comfort thing.
But I don't know. I don't believe that there was a guy who had barbed wire around his head. I don't believe that there is a heaven necessarily. I don't believe that things that were written hundreds of thousands of years ago or whatever is. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's.
I know. I get really confused by that. I grew up Catholic. We were never religious, but just we were Catholic. Never went to church or anything. Now my kids go to Catholic school and everything, and it's only been the last few years. I've never really questioned it. I just assumed, okay, this is how it happened. Now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, is that true? And then why are there so many different books? Why is there the Quran and the Bible and the Torah and all that? How can there be all these different interpretations of it? But then deep down something in me is like, I do believe there's some, and maybe it's a comfort thing, but I really like the idea that there is something else up there. I don't want to think that you die.
But see, I don't think up there either. Do you know what I mean? I don't go, oh, up there is heaven. And
yeah, like in the clouds or whatever. I know.
It's fascinating anyway. And at times like this, especially when I'm grieving mum, I'm like, geez, I wish I thought Jesus was looking after her and
Would you go to a clairvoyant?
And you know what? I've actually got a session, Jackie Gillies from the Housewives of Melbourne is like, I'll do a session for you.
No way.
I just don't feel ready yet.
Oh, well then don't.
Yeah, because I'm totally open to that stuff. So how I believe it, I don't, believe in religion, other people would go, well, how can you not believe in something like that, believe in clairvoyance? I'm very much whatever. Do you know what I
Doesn't
mean?
have
You
to be
take what you
religion.
want and no.
It can be even spirituality it's different. It's not probably that same thing, the idea of the universe, or there's something out there that's bigger than us.
Yeah, but a lot of people would think clairvoyants are just full of shit. And I mean, a lot of them are, but sometimes they just get something where you're like, hold on, how do you know that? So then that's what makes me go, there has to be something bigger than this, because there's no one in the world that knew that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I will do a session with Jackie at some point, and then, and she's good.
Yeah.
Remember you and I? We had her on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back and listen to that if you haven't, because she picked up some stuff with Mel. Anyway, so let's go back to Bieber. So he got off tour at the end of 2017, and he and Hailey were not together, and he was a bit of a hot mess. And have a listen to this.
I got off tour, and there was this feeling of unresolved things in my life. I took the time to resolve some things in my life, some relationships, get some healing.
Did you go to therapy?
Work through some healing. Yeah, I did. I think it's important that we express our feelings and find that place. I think a lot of people, at one time I felt like, who is this person to give me advice? Like, what does he know about? And I've just grown to mature past that and just know that, like, it's helpful.
Then, so then he starts talking about when he realised that Hailey Baldwin was the one for him after they'd separated, and then he spots her.
When did you realize that it was time for you to reconnect with Hailey and that you had gotten to a place when you knew that you could potentially actually pursue something substantial?
I just felt there was a lot of resolution in my life. I'd seen her at an event, and I'd seen her with a baby, and something just clicked, and it was like, wow. She's the one. I'd kind of decluttered some of my past, and I was able to see really clearly. And I just seen her across the room. She was holding a baby, and I just seen the nurturing look in her eyes toward this baby. And I was like, I want the mother of my children to look at a baby the way that she was, and the way she was carrying it. And I just seen something so special, and I just was like, I want that. And I knew that she could offer that to me.
Wow. You watched the doco, didn't you? And you said Hailey's like his carer.
Yeah, she is. It's quite, it's lovely, but also quite alarming.
Like very codependent.
Yeah, like, oh, you haven't taken your meds yet. Yeah, no, you took them at 2 p.m. Like, it's a lot of that. Like, let me make sure he's on track.
Like, so what meds?
Well, I think he does a lot of, like, he has mono, which is glandular fever essentially, and he has Lyme disease and obviously quite severe anxiety and stuff. So I think he takes a concoction of
stuff.
Yes, yep.
Maybe that's what he saw when he looked at her, not maybe a mother of his child.
Yeah, he thought, you can hold me like that baby.
That maternal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I tell you once? Mark had said, this was years ago before onesies became a thing, right? Mark had said to me once, the kids, I think Dominique was a baby, and he goes, God, a baby suit looks comfortable, like just a onesie like that. And I thought, I should see if I can get online and find him one. It took me to a very dark place. I put in adult baby onesie. Oh, my God. I was like, imagine someone looked at my Google history. It was like full like adult nappies for bait, like weird sexual play.
Fetishes.
It's totally a fetish. That's what it is. You see those weird shows where people like put their dicks in exhausts and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
And then like the next week will be, meet John. John likes to wear diapers and onesies. And then he hires people to look after him. John did poo-poo in nappy.
Oh,
and it's like a grown man.
No, thank you. Cannot watch that.
If you had to get into one fetish, what would it be?
Oh, God.
You know what yours would be, Mel?
What?
Mel was speaking to me the other day and she's like, do you want to know something disgusting?
Oh my God, what did I say?
Your dog was like chewing on your
yes.
feet and like chewing off the dry skin of her feet. I reckon that's what my fetish would be. I'd like slap bits of peanut butter on my body.
Do you know what? That's how I know. That's how I know.
Oh, you said that out loud.
That's how I know our friendship is in a really special place, because as I was talking to her, I said, Layla's licking my feet. This is so gross. She's like trying to eat the dry skin off my heels, and she goes, does it feel good? I went, a little bit. You can't say that to many people.
No, but we just said it to everyone
I know.
listening.
God.
Hey, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you shoot us anything that you guys want. We're also starting a new podcast which is called Tell Me More, and we're going to get different guests on, and this is when we can get on the experts that you guys have written in and said you want on, and just different, comedians, friends, different people like that, where we're just going to deep dive into their lives a little bit more, which we'll start doing that weekly.
Yep.
Plus this one, and then eventually we'll get one up which involves you guys, where we get you on and talk to you about what's happening in your world. If you've got any questions or funny stories that are happening in your world, just email Stacey at showandtellonline.com.au, and we are reading all your emails and all your messages and
Beautiful reviews.
Yes, reviews on iTunes, and make sure you share the podcast. Tag us in if there's, if you're watching it and you're like, oh, I'm going to tag in the guy so they can see that we're listening, and then we'll watch, and then I'll get peanut butter on my body. Bye for now.
Bye.